Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. That iconic sound, the flickering flashlight, that haunting music,
Yeah.
it means one thing.
The X-Files.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are venturing back into the unknown, into that chilling, captivating world of Mulder and Scully. Today, we're taking a magnifying glass to a season many consider the absolute pinnacle, a real game changer in sci-fi. We're talking the legendary third season of The X-Files. Okay, let's really unpack this.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how much this season really solidified the show's legacy, and maybe more importantly, how it just profoundly expanded its universe for viewers like you.
Yeah.
It was where The X-Files stopped being, just a cult hit,
Right.
and really became this cultural phenomenon. Our mission today is to dissect those crucial plot developments, the truly innovative writing that was kind of defying TV norms back then,
Yeah.
the memorable themes that resonated so deeply, and of course, the massive critical and commercial reception Season 3 got. All of this drawn straight from, well, a pretty comprehensive stack of source material to give you the complete picture.
Yeah, our goal is to give you a thorough understanding of this pivotal season. Quickly, yes, but also with some genuine insight. We want to avoid just, drowning you in information.
Right.
We're talking surprising facts, those aha moments about why this particular season didn't just resonate, it exploded, it blew up.
Yeah.
And why it still holds such a special, almost revered place in TV history. So let's peel back the layers of this particular X-File. Okay, so let's set the stage. Season 3 really felt like a breakthrough year. At its core, it continued the central premise we all know and love.
Mulder and Scully.
Mulder and Scully, FBI special agents investigated those chilling paranormal cases, the ones officially called X-Files. They're still out there, chasing the strange, the unexplained, often the terrifying. But this season, everything just felt bigger.
Bigger is definitely the right word.
Yeah.
This season truly hit its stride, showed incredible ambition. It started airing on Fox back in the U.S. on September 22, 1995.
Right.
And it ran all the way through to May 17th, 1996. Now, for anyone tracking, it had 24 episodes.
Wow, 24. That's a lot.
It is. And that's not just a number, right? A longer season like that gave the writers and producers so much more narrative scope.
Makes sense.
Think about it. They had space to develop those really intricate, ongoing mythology plots, the serialized stories building the whole alien conspiracy.
What a big arc.
But also, they could explore a wider variety of standalone stories, the Monster of the Week episodes, as fans call them.
Love those.
Right. This blend, this narrative breadth, it really contributed to the show's richness and depth. It gave them room to breathe and, honestly, to innovate.
Absolutely. Season 3 wasn't just more of the same. It felt like a pivotal point. It brought satisfying conclusions to some major plot lines from Season 2.
Payoffs, yeah.
Crucial payoffs for viewers who were invested. But at the same time, and they did this so deftly, it introduced totally new, crucial elements that would define the show for years. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the show wasn't afraid to evolve, even while tying up loose ends.
It's true. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you see the introduction of pivotal characters, like the enigmatic First Elder.
Oh, yeah, Don S. Williams.
Played with that subtle menace by Don S. Williams, exactly. And the terrifying alien virus known just chillingly as black oil. Both introduced right here in this season.
That black oil still gives me chills.
And these weren't just one-off things. They were fundamental. They were deeply embedded. They significantly deepened the whole overarching mythology, moving beyond just individual cases into this more complex, connected narrative. It hinted at a grander, more sinister design.
It felt bigger than just aliens landing somehow.
Exactly. It became about this hidden system of control, infiltration. These introductions just upped the stakes considerably, expanded the scope of the conspiracy beyond what we'd imagined.
And what made this season, I think, truly exceptional and honestly revolutionary for network TV then was how well it blended these storytelling approaches. You had that wide variety of Monster of the Week episodes, those fantastic self-contained stories, like mini horror movies each week.
Yeah, great entry points.
Totally. But just as important, maybe more so, were the ongoing mythology episodes. The serialized, arc-driven stories building the grand conspiracy.
Finding that balance.
That balance was truly a masterclass. It kept casual viewers hooked. They could tune in for a scare without knowing every detail.
Right.
And it kept the dedicated fans, the ones deep into the conspiracy, completely invested. It sort of trained audiences.
Yeah.
to engage on multiple levels.
It really set a blueprint for a lot of the prestige TV we see now, didn't it? Long-form stories, but still satisfying weekly narratives.
Absolutely. That was a genuinely groundbreaking aha moment for television. Okay, so picking up right where Season 2 left off, Season 3 wasted zero time resolving that massive cliffhanger.
No kidding. Plunged right back in.
Plunged us straight back into the conspiracy, immediate tension. We start with Mulder's fate, right, after Anasazi.
Found in the desert. Very bad shit.
Found in the New Mexico desert, gravely ill from radiation, but thankfully nursed back to health by the wise, mysterious Navajo elder, Albert Hosting.
Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Such a great presence.
Incredible presence. And that immediate resolution, but with lingering effects, it just set the tone for the whole season's intensity.
And while that's happening, Scully is thrown into her own, deeply personal and really disturbing ordeal.
Yeah.
She starts meticulously investigating the smallpox eradication program, thinking it might be involved in human genetic experimentation.
Which sounds crazy, but...
But her relentless pursuit leads her to this chilling discovery. A Nazi scientist defected during Operation Paperclip.
Wow, Paperclip.
The post-WWII U.S. program that secretly recruited German scientists, some with, let's say, very controversial pasts.
Right.
He'd been secretly conducting horrific human experiments, trying to create alien-human hybrids.
That's horrifying.
It wasn't just a new threat. It suggested this terrifying scale of deception, complicity. And it raises that important question. How deep did this conspiracy go? Reaching back into historical science, involving figures from the darkest parts of history.
It made it feel global. Generational.
Exactly. Making the present-day threats feel even more insidious, like they'd been planned for decades.
And the personal cost for Scully, just heartbreaking. It hit so hard for viewers. Her sister, Melinda
McGraw.
Played with such warmth by Melinda McGraw, yeah. Tragically shot by Syndicate assassins. They thought she was Dana.
Terrible mistake. Awful consequences.
Awful. Melissa dies in the hospital. And this wasn't just a plot point, It profoundly impacted Scully. It made the abstract conspiracy incredibly human, emotional.
And you felt the cost.
You felt her grief, her rage, her determination. And later, Scully, with this cold fury, tracks down Louis Cardinal,
Leno Britos,
the man responsible for her sister's death. It just highlights the immense personal sacrifice she kept making.
Meanwhile, Mulder's deep dive, his obsession, just intensified. He's chasing evidence related to that supposed alien autopsy video.
The fuzzy tape, yeah.
Right. Driven by his search for Samantha, always Samantha. And this leads him to infiltrate a super secretive government train carriage.
Like something out of a spy movie.
Totally. And inside, he finds something shocking, what looks like an alien-human hybrid.
Whoa.
The danger he was in, immense, pushing boundaries, maybe too far?
And he almost didn't make it out right. He was nearly killed by a Syndicate operative guarding the hybrid, cornered.
Yeah, vulnerable. But thankfully, last second, saved by his enigmatic informant, X.
Stephen Williams, so cool.
Always cool. Played with that perfect intensity by Stephen Williams. What's crucial here, X, who's normally so aloof, was actually tipped off by Scully.
Ah, so they were really working together.
Exactly. It wasn't just a rescue. It highlighted that increasing trust, that reliance between them. Their bond, forged in these constant threats, was clearly deepening, becoming unbreakable.
And it showed the Syndicate's reach, too. They were everywhere.
Absolutely. And maybe one of the most chilling, significant introductions of the whole season, maybe the whole series, was the black oil.
Ooh, yes. The black oil.
This parasitic alien virus, totally unlike anything we'd seen. Its first terrifying appearance. The crew of a French salvage ship.
Trying to raise that WWII sub.
Exactly. They get hit with massive radiation burns, all except one guy is infected, controlled by this insidious black oil.
It was so creepy the way it moved.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the black oil becomes one of the most significant, terrifying elements of the mythology. It introduced a new kind of alien threat. Not invasion like spaceships, but...
possession. Infiltration from within.
Exactly. Insidious internal possession and control. It just amplified the paranoia tenfold for the audience.
And its progression was truly unsettling.
Yeah.
This masterfully built tread. It passed through hosts, right? Jumping victim to victim.
Seamlessly. Eventually overtaking Alex Krycek.
Nicholas Lea. Always popping up.
A familiar face, yeah. Increasingly complex. Played brilliantly by Nicholas Lea. And Scully later uncovers the sub wasn't just a wreck.
It was involved in finding the oil.
During WWII, yeah. disguised as a search for a sunken fireplane. And then the infected Krychek chillingly guides the oil to a remote missile silo hiding a UFO.
No way.
Where the oil horrifyingly escapes his body, boards the craft, and just leaves.
Oh.
It revealed the terrifying nature of the oil's control, sure, but also its deep, hidden connection to past global conflicts, linking the paranormal to historical secrecy, showing the long game the conspiracy was playing decades, maybe centuries.
That is a truly chilling revelation. Just connects everything in this awful way.
Season 3, I mean, it was really a testament to visionary leadership. Chris Carter, the series creator, was executive producer, showrunner, kept a firm, cohesive hand on everything.
He was really involved.
Massively. He personally wrote 8 episodes himself, including those key mythology ones. He even directed one.
That's a huge workload for a showrunner.
Especially on a show this complex, this demanding, it raises that question, right? How does one person keep such a singular vision across so many diverse episodes, mythology, monsters, while pushing boundaries and keeping the quality so consistently high?
Speaks to his talent, his dedication.
Absolutely. Singular talent, unwavering dedication.
And it wasn't just Carter shaping it. David Duchovny, Mulder himself, he had direct creative involvement. Got 2 writing credits this season.
Including the finale.
Including the really profound season finale, Talitha Kumi. For a lead actor to be that immersed, contributing creatively at that level, it highlights the collaborative nature of the show.
Yeah, it wasn't just punching the clock for them.
No way. It shows how input from the stars, who were so deep in their characters and the world, could really enrich the series. You felt that passion on screen.
And direction-wise, several key people ensured that consistent visual style, that storytelling quality that became an X-Files hallmark.
Right. The look of the show was so specific.
Right. The look of the show was so specific.
Totally. R.W. Goodwin, for instance, he directed the season's crucial opening trilogy, The Blessing Way, Paperclip, and the impactful finale, Talitha Kumi.
Bookended the season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rob Bowman was a major contributor too, directed 8 episodes, including Paperclip and the amazing Jose Chung's From Outer Space, brought his distinct visual flair.
I loved his episodes.
And Kim Manners, another prolific director, he helmed 7 episodes. Their consistent work made sure the show always looked cinematic, felt incredibly polished, kept that signature atmospheric tension, even in the craziest moments.
The way season 3 picked off was also just crucial for hooking viewers into that bigger story.
Oh yeah, that opening trilogy.
The Blessing Way, Paperclip, and 731, building directly from that intense season 2 finale, Anasazi.
Right into it. This kind of serialized storytelling, resolving and expanding big plot points over multiple episodes, it was such a hallmark of the X-Files. It showed how they could create these compelling multi-part stories that just drew you in, kept you hooked on the mystery, on Mulder and Scully's fate.
Now, talking writing, we absolutely have to talk about Darren Morgan. His contribution was so significant, so distinctive.
Darren Morgan, legend.
He had that small part in season 2, right? Played the Flukeman in The Host.
Unforgettable. Gross, but unforgettable.
Yeah. And he was asked to do more for season 3. His brother Glenn brought him on to help write Blood, his first solo credit, Humbug.
Instantly different.
Instantly showcased his unique voice. Darkly comedic, often existential, got a hugely positive reaction from staff, audiences, everyone. What's fascinating is how his perspective became such a fan favorite, even though he wasn't there that long.
He just saw the X-Files universe differently. Subversive, funny, heartfelt.
Exactly. And David Duchovny captured it perfectly, remember? He said, what I loved about his scripts was that he seemed to be trying to destroy the show.
Which sounds bad, but he meant it as a compliment, right?
Totally a compliment. It highlighted how that playful, self-referential, often satirical approach brought this whole new meta dimension to the series.
A twist for a show known for being so serious, so dark.
Right. Morgan injected this needed dose of dark humor, philosophical thought. Delighted audiences, critics loved the cleverness. He kind of held up a mirror to the show, to the audience, made you question belief itself.
But he didn't stay long, sadly.
No, despite the acclaim, his tenure was brief. Wrote 3 iconic episodes, helped with Quagmire, then left. He mentioned the incredibly fast pace of network TV production.
Grueling.
Found it grueling, yeah. And he also wasn't always happy with how his scripts were handled or interpreted on screen, even though they got rave reviews.
Tough environment.
Really highlights the challenge of keeping creative integrity in that high-pressure world. Artistic vision versus network demands, tight schedules. It's a testament to his unique voice that even with just a few episodes, his impact was so huge.
And beyond those big names, others really enriched the season too. Vince Gilligan.
Future Breaking Bad creator.
Exactly. He'd written one episode before, came back for another solo one, Pusher, which was critically lauded. Now credited as a creative consultant. You could really see the seeds of his genius starting there.
Definitely. And new writers joined too. Jeffrey Flaming, Charles Grant Craig, Kim Newton, John Shiban.
Shiban stuck around, right?
Yeah, Shiban became a key creative voice for years. Most of the others didn't return after season 3, but it shows the series was constantly bringing in new talent. Each added a slightly different flavor, kept the show fresh, unpredictable.
One of the biggest themes, I think, woven all through season 3 was that deep, almost visceral sense of government distrust. The shadow conspiracy just kept getting deeper, darker.
Oh, absolutely pervasive. Episodes like Nice and 731 really showed a darker, more insidious side, delving deep into that public distrust of government, those secret forces at play.
Felt very 90s, that vibe.
Totally resonated with the zeitgeist. Post-Cold War anxiety, rising conspiracy theories, skepticism towards institutions. It tapped right into that.
And it wasn't just those 2 episodes, was it? It was like the lifeblood of the whole mythology arc.
Exactly. Other mythology episodes, Talitha Kumi, Piper Maru, Apocrypha, relentlessly kept exposing the shadow government plotline, peeling back layers of deceit, clandestine operations.
Making it feel disturbingly real.
If you connect it to the bigger picture, yeah, these episodes tapped into this widespread societal anxiety, the idea of powerful, unelected figures pulling strings behind the scenes. It made the fictional conspiracy feel eerily plausible, deeply unsettling. It wasn't just a show. It felt like it was tapping into something already out there, a fear of unseen control.
But the darkness wasn't just, aliens and conspiracy. Season 3 brilliantly focused on the darkness within humanity, too. Introduced some truly sadistic human villains.
Yeah, sometimes scarier than the alien.
Right. Episodes like Too Shy, with the serial killer preying on lonely people online.
Chillingly relevant even then.
And Pusher, the guy who could manipulate people's wills. These were human antagonists doing shockingly immoral, cruel things, often looking completely normal, unassuming.
Broadened the horror, reminded us evil can be disturbingly close, in ordinary people.
And Grotesque explored that even further. A serial killer antagonist, acts revolving around how evil can change people, influence them, almost like a contagious force. Maybe demonic possession.
It raises that question, doesn't it? How do you confront evil when it's not some obvious alien, but a twisted part of human nature? What does that say about us, what we're capable of?
Push the audience to look inward. Confront the horror within.
But season 3 wasn't all darkness and paranoia. It wasn't afraid to explore deeper emotional stuff, engage in social commentary, showed its versatility.
Like Oubliette. That was a remarkably sentimental, intensely emotional episode, driven by a kidnapping of a young girl.
Duchovny's favorite performance of the season, he said?
Right. A testament to its emotional power, the subtleties in Mulder's character there. You felt his pain, his connection to the victim.
And the episode drew these powerful parallels to the real-life Polly Klaas case.
Which was huge news back then. Horrifying.
Exactly. So Oubliette provided commentary on complex, real-world issues. Stockholm Syndrome, the long-term impact of trauma.
Using its platform for more than just scares.
Right. Touched on human experiences, societal concerns, gave it extra weight, made it more than just another monster of the week.
Then you had the lighter side, the self-aware stuff, which was such a breath of fresh air, showcased the show's amazing range.
Loved those episodes.
Several drew inspiration from old B-movie horror, played on tropes with a knowing wink. War of the Coprophages.
Yeah.
Killer cockroaches.
Ridiculous but terrifying and fun.
And Quagmire with the lake monster.
Huh?
Fun, almost campy takes on classic horror. Proved the show could laugh at itself.
And beyond homage, there were real satirical elements, too. In DPO, critiquing unchecked power, syzygy, skewering small-town paranoia, teen angst.
War of the Coprophages, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, syzygy and War of the Coprophages specifically showed how the public can create panic, irrational fear out of perceived threats, misinterpreted info, a subtle comment on mob mentality, misinformation.
It's fascinating how it could embrace classic horror tropes, but also critique public behavior, human irrationality. So self-aware.
Incredible depth. And for the longtime fans, the critics, Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose and Jose Chung's From Outer Space, absolute masterclasses, often called two of the best X-Files episodes ever.
That really played against the formula.
Famously played against and subverted the show's own tropes. Clyde Bruckman, that profound, melancholic meditation on fate, free will.
Heartbreaking.
And Jose Chung just hilariously broke the fourth wall. Multiple contradictory accounts of an abduction, even from the aliens.
So funny, so...
Meta-narrative at its finest, a comedic tour de force playing with narrative truth itself. This meta-commentary, this witty deconstruction, it delighted audiences, cemented the show's rep for innovative, boundary-pushing TV, dared to ask, what is truth? Anyway.
At the very heart of it all, Season 3 continued to be anchored by that undeniable chemistry, those stellar performances. David Duchovny as Mulder, Gillian Anderson as Scully.
The bedrock, absolutely.
Their performances, the emotional core that grounded everything, no matter how bizarre it got. Your dynamic, Mulder's belief versus Scully's skepticism, but with that growing trust, affection. It just captivated everyone, made you believe.
And this season really saw Mitch Pileggi's deputy director Skinner gain prominence, became much more than just their exasperated boss.
Yeah, he got pulled in deeper.
Faced significant threats, challenges to his career, even his life. Got further entangled in their dangerous world. Showcased his unwavering, though often tested, loyalty.
Became a crucial, reluctant ally.
A linchpin, really, often risking everything to protect them.
And the world just felt richer because of that fantastic ensemble of recurring characters. Fan favorites, each adding layers to the conspiracy, the strangeness.
So many great ones.
William B. Davis as the cigarette-smoking man. Enigmatic. His silent, smoky presence always meant danger, manipulation.
You just knew things were serious when he showed up.
Then the beloved lone gunman. Tom Braidwood as Frohike, Bruce Harwood as Byers, Dean Haglund as Langley.
Providing that unique blend of conspiracy theories, tech help, and much-needed comic relief.
Totally. Nicholas Leah as Alex Krycek.
Yeah.
That fascinating complex arc continued. Loyalties always shifting. His presence meant unpredictability.
Never knew what he'd do next.
Brendan Beiser as Pendrell, the kind FBI scientist. Lino Britos as Louis Cardinal, the menacing hitman. Don S. Williams as the new First Elder, shadowy Syndicate figure. Stephen Williams as the elusive X, Mulder's informant.
Tips always vital, always came with a price.
And bringing the family dimension, Sheila Larkin as Margaret Scully, Rebecca Tulin as Tina Mulder, reminded us of the human stakes, and John Neville as the well-manicured man, another key, sinister Syndicate player.
Just a stacked recurring cast. Yeah. And the season also had these powerful guest stars making huge impacts, often in just one episode.
Leaving a real impression.
Floyd Westerman, as we mentioned, brought that quiet gravitas as Albert Holstein. And Peter Boyle. Wow. His performance as Clyde Bruckman.
Unforgettable.
Heartbreaking. So memorable, so nuanced. Rightly won an Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor. These strong supporting and guest spots consistently elevated the narrative, deepened characters, made even standalone episodes feel incredibly rich, compelling, often very emotional.
Okay, 24 episodes. That's incredibly ambitious for one season. Each one added to this rich, complex tapestry. It's a lot to cover, but let's highlight some key cases, focusing on how they built that reputation for excellence and variety.
Yeah, we can group them maybe to see how this season balanced things. First, let's look at the mythology arc episodes, those crucial ones pushing the big story forward, keeping us invested in the grand conspiracy.
Right, the backbone.
Season launched with The Blessing Way. Picked up right after Anasazi, Mulder's survival. We see Scully getting family support, dealing with the fallout, her sister's apparent abduction.
Setting the stage.
Flowed right into Paperclip. Mulder and Scully uncovering deeper, more dangerous secrets. That old photo. His father, other men. Hinting at conspiracy links going back decades. The alien-human hybrid experiments reveal a massive shock.
Then came Nisei, right? That gripping one. Started with Mulder getting that grainy alien autopsy video.
Sparked his next desperate investigation. Mulder infiltrates the train, Scully investigates MUFON, leading to the chilling introduction of the First Elder, top Syndicate guy.
And that led straight into 731.
Immediately followed. Continued the train storyline, Mulder trapped, facing lethal threats, Scully digging into her own abduction mystery. The stakes were just incredibly high there. Mulder facing immediate danger from the Syndicate.
Intense two-parter.
Later in the season, that epic two-parter that really changed the game. Piper Maru and Apocrypha.
Ah, the black oil arrives.
Piper Maru introduced it. French salvage ship looking for that WWII plane finds the mysterious wreckage, unleashes the black oil. A chilling, visceral new threat.
It infected people, right?
Yeah.
Even Skinner.
Yeah, passed through hosts, including Skinner, whose life was seriously threatened. Story continued in Apocrypha. Mulder investigates a strange illness linked to the oil. Government interference becomes blatant. Skinner is still in danger from Scully's sister's killer. These episodes cemented the black oil as central to the mythology.
And the season closed with Talitha Kumi.
Powerful, enigmatic finale. Mulder and Scully searching for a man with strange powers leads to a dangerous secret from Mulder's past. Brought them to the brink of exposing alien existence, set the stage for what was next. These mythology episodes were the engine, driving that intricate story forward relentlessly.
But beyond the mythology, Season 3 delivered some absolute standalone masterpieces and critically acclaimed episodes, often cited as some of the best of the entire series. Showcased that incredible range, that daring.
Definitely. Clyde Bruckman's final Repose is just a standout. Profound, melancholic, about a man predicting how people die, tangled in a serial killer case.
Won 2 Emmys. So unique.
Unique tone, philosophical depth about fate, unexpected humor. Peter Boyle's performance, unforgettable.
Then Jose Chung's From Outer Space. Completely subversive.
Totally. Multiple, contradictory, hilarious, unreliable perspectives on an abduction, even from the aliens. Meta-narrative at its finest. Comedic tour de force playing with narrative, truth itself.
Had to watch it multiple times to catch everything.
Vince Gilligan's Pusher, another huge fan favorite. Tightly plotted, high-stakes thriller. Man bending people's will with his mind.
That chilling mind game with Mulder.
Leads to this dangerous psychological endgame for Mulder. Pushed him to his absolute limits. Consistently ranked one of the best Monster of the Week episodes. Human evil at its most chillingly mundane.
Oubliette, we mentioned, hit those emotional depths. Kidnapped girl, psychic connection to a former abductee.
Duchovny's favorite performance. Explored trauma, compassion with rare tenderness for the show.
And for lighter satirical stuff. War of the Coprophages. Killer cockroaches descending on a small town.
Blending sci-fi horror with a sharp, witty humor. Delightful self-awareness.
Quagmire, too, the lake monster one. But equally famous for that long dialogue scene between Mulder and Scully stranded on the rock.
Oh, yeah, beloved scene. Their banter, talking faith, skepticism. Perfectly showcase their incredible dynamic.
And finally, grotesque.
Yeah.
Plunged into darker human psyche stuff. Serial killer claiming demonic possession.
Complete, visually stark. Highlighted the insidious influence of evil, questioned belief itself. And the season also had this wide array of other notable standalones. Ensured variety, kept the show fresh every week, showed the sheer creative bandwidth.
Like what?
DPO, the kid controlling lightning strikes, exploring dangers of unchecked power. The List, death row inmate back from the dead for revenge. Themes of justice, vengeance.
Too shy.
Creepy.
A disturbing serial killer preying on insecure women online, dissolving them. Chilling commentary on vulnerability in the early digital age. The Walk. Phantom soldier, quadriplegic veteran projecting himself for revenge. Haunting a military hospital, raising questions about inner demons.
Wow, they covered a lot of ground. Revelations, religiously motivated homicides. Mulder tracks a killer targeting stigmatics. Forces Scully to confront her faith. Syzygy, strange behavior from a planetary alignment. Sharp satire of mass hysteria, teen angst.
Teso dos Pichos? The museum one.
Yeah, ancient artifact, mysterious deaths in a Boston museum, archaeological horror, supernatural thrills, hell money, agents in San Francisco's Chinatown investigating missing organs, dark underbelly of human trafficking.
Skinner got his own episode too, right?
Avatar, Skinner accused of murder, Mulder and Scully unravel a conspiracy to clear him, showed his growing importance, and Retwired tested Scully's trust in Mulder, citizens seeing illusions from secret surveillance, committing homicides, blurred lines of perception, paranoia.
Just an incredible variety. Kept you guessing every week. Showcased the show's boundless imagination. Season 3 wasn't just critically acclaimed. It was a massive commercial hit. A meteoric rise in viewership. Really cemented the X-Files place.
Oh, yeah. The season premieres, The Blessing Way, debuted with huge numbers. Nielsen rating 12.3, 22 share, almost 20 million viewers, 19.94 million.
Wow. Highest rated ever at the time?
At the time, yeah. More than doubled the previous season's premiere. Blew past the old record. An incredible jump for the show.
And it wasn't just the premiere, right? It stayed high.
Consistent phenomenon. Ratings consistently stayed above 15 million viewers all season, made it one of the most watched series of the whole 95-96 lineup.
Huge.
Averaged 15.40 million viewers overall, nearly a 7% increase from season 2. And crucially, it became Fox's top-rated program in that key 18 to 49 demographic.
The one advertisers love.
Exactly. It raises that question. What was it about season 3 that just captured such a massive audience, pushed it to new heights, made it a cultural phenomenon?
Be that mix. Gripping mythology, terrifying standalones, Mulder and Scully's bond.
Probably that combination, yeah. Cemented its place as a mainstream hit, not just a niche genre show.
And that success led to a big strategic move for Fox, right? A real indicator of the show's power.
Definitely. Season 3 was the last one to air on Friday nights, often seen as less prestigious, maybe even a death slot.
Yeah, Fridays can be tough.
For season 4, they moved it confidently to Sunday, primetime slot, much higher viewership potential. That move was a clear testament to its success, its importance to the network.
That's how you know you've hit the big time. The network builds around you.
And the critical acclaim was just as loud as the ratings. Many critics call it the show's definitive year. Emily Vanderwerf at the AV Club called season 3 the X-Files' best season and maybe one of the greatest TV seasons of all time.
Wow, why praise?
Incredible praise. Praised its consistency, how it swung from strength to strength between mythology and standalones, despite maybe a slightly weaker start with The Blessing Way, in her view. To be called one of the greatest seasons of any show, that's huge.
Zach Handeland, also at the AV Club, echoed that, right? Called it one of the show's strongest.
Noted how the conspiracy arc kept tension high, didn't just tread water, observed the overall direction became highly polished, giving even the season's weakest entries a cinematic feel.
And he singled out the Darren Morgan episodes.
Notably called Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose and Jose Chung's From Outer Space, the X-Files' 2 greatest hours. When standalone episodes get hailed as masterpieces like that, speaks volumes about the talent involved.
And the praise for Darren Morgan's writing was everywhere, wasn't it? Even for the weirder ones.
Consistent theme. War of the Coprophages got an A from Entertainment Weekly, praised its absurdity, cleverness, entertainment value. Quagmire, which had some of his writing, got great reviews too, especially that long dialogue scene between Mulder and Scully, praised as a masterclass in character interaction, natural banter.
Vince Gilligan's Pusher got a lot of love too.
Significant critical attention, cited as one of the best by IGN, Den of Geek. Tom Kessenich, in his book, even called it the best MOTW monster of the week in the series history.
Quite a title for a standalone. Speaks to its impact, its thrilling execution.
And don't forget Duchovny's personal favorite performance in Oubliette got mostly positive reviews for its raw emotional depth, its departure from typical X-Files stuff. Earl Cressy at DVD Talk gave the whole season 4.5 out of 5 stars, attributed it to increased budget, better production values, quality guest stars. The show was just firing on all cylinders.
And all this translated into awards, right? Serious recognition.
Significant, well-deserved award recognition solidified its place. At the Primetime Emmys, The X-Files got a remarkable 8 nominations.
Including Best Drama again.
Second consecutive nomination for Outstanding Drama Series, clear sign of consistent quality. Gillian Anderson got her first nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress, finally, recognition she totally deserved for Scully.
About time.
And Jose Chung's From Outer Space even got nominated for Outstanding Art Direction, testament to its unique visual style.
And they won some too.
Didn't just get nominated, won big. 5 Emmys across various categories, showcased the strength of the whole team. Darren Morgan won for Outstanding Writing for Clyde Bruckman, truly deserved for his singular vision.
Peter Boyle won for that too, right?
Same episode, Peter Boyle won for Outstanding Guest Actor. Unforgettable performance. Nicey was a technical powerhouse. Won Emmys for both sound editing and sound mixing. If you rewatch, listen to that sound design. Eerie hums, whispers, unsettling silence created real paranoia.
Added so much atmosphere.
And John S. Bartley won for Outstanding Cinematography for Grotesque, lauded for its stark, almost monochrome look, using shadows, dim light to capture that psychological decay, the insidious evil, made it feel even more unsettling cinematic.
And Golden Globes too.
Accolades continued there. Duchovny and Anderson both nominated for their performances, and crucially, The X-Files itself won the prestigious Golden Globe for Best Television Series Drama in 1996. Covered season 3 and 4. This wide recognition, writing, acting, technical, truly solidified season 3's legendary status and cultural impact.
For everyone who wanted to relive it, Scrutinize every detail, go behind the scenes. Season 3 got meticulously preserved for home viewing, allowed for that deeper appreciation.
Yeah, the X-Files, the complete third season, came out as this comprehensive 7-disc set, all 24 episodes. Fans could just immerse themselves completely.
And the special features were amazing, right? Gave unprecedented access.
Totally. Included the Truth About Season 3 documentary, great insights into production challenges, creative triumphs. Chris Carter himself did extensive, invaluable audio commentaries on 12 key episodes, direct line to the creator's thoughts.
That's gold for fans.
Plus more commentaries from other directors, writers, like Kim Manners and Carter for Apocrypha, Rob Bowman, and Darren Morgan for Jose Chung. Just invaluable for understanding their creative process, the thought behind scenes.
What else is on there?
Selected special effects clips with commentary by Matt Beck, the visual effects producer.
Yeah.
Fascinating glimpse into their groundbreaking, often practical effects work.
Loved their practical effects.
Fans could also see deleted scenes with optional Chris Carter commentary. Gave more context, explained why stuff got cut, plus 17 behind-the-truth spots from FX, TV promos for every single episode. Even a DVD-ROM game, Unholy Alliances.
Wow, an interactive game too.
Yeah, offered an interactive extension of the universe. It was really a treasure trove for fans.
These comprehensive DVD releases really allowed for that rewatching, like deeper appreciation of the details, the process, the ambition, extended its legacy.
Yeah.
Allowed new generations to discover it.
Absolutely. Analyzing every frame. The set came out in Region 1 on May 8, 2001. Region 2, November 26, 2001. Region 3, November 12, 2001. Ensured that global reach, that enduring presence in home libraries. #tag outro.
So we take a deep dive into the X-Files Season 3, a truly iconic, pivotal chapter. Didn't just continue the series, it profoundly escalated the conspiracy, explored complex human and alien threats, showcased exceptional writing, direction, performances, right across the board. From the terrifying black oil to the self-aware, genre-bending humor of Darren Morgan, this season really had it all. Showed a creative ambition you rarely saw on network TV then.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Season 3 wasn't just another year for the X-Files. It was like a foundational text in modern serialized television.
Yeah, you can see its influence everywhere.
It masterfully struck that perfect balance. Mythology-driven arcs and compelling standalone episodes. Its huge critical and commercial success wasn't just fleeting, it's a testament to its lasting cultural impact, its enduring influence on countless shows that followed. It set a new bar for what sci-fi, what genre TV could do, proved it could be thought-provoking and wildly entertaining.
As we wrap up this deep dive, maybe consider this. How does the X-Files Season 3, with its intricate plots of government conspiracy, its relentless search for hidden truths, its exploration of the unknown, how does it continue to resonate so powerfully today?
In a world where information, truth, hidden agendas are constantly debated, questioned, manipulated.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for us today, as we still grapple with what lies hidden just beneath the surface of reality, and who or what we can truly trust? Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable exploration.